Welcome back to another episode of We Roguelike It. I'm your host, Boston. Joining me as always is Moonpeer.
Hello.
And Monkey Sr.
Yo.
We've found our place for our last game. So now we're here talking about a brand new game, which is Galak-Z / Galaxy the Dimensional / The Void. My title screen says The Void on PS4. So
yeah, same. PC.
Okay, so Galak-Z the Void, not Galaxy S. That's Dimension S, whatever they're calling it. Yeah, that's a much different game.
Mm-hmm.
So we're here to talk about our first of 4 weeks of Galak-Z. I've played this already, so I sort of don't want to go first. How about we go first with you, Moon?
Okay, so let's talk first about the things that are incredible. Number one, the game looks amazing. That art style is chef's
Saturday morning anime style.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
It's almost like I could see it on Cartoon Network at around about 6 p.m. just after Dragon Ball Z aired.
That's right.
The style is so good.
Yeah.
I love little touches in it as well. Like, for example, the fact that your character portrait is in the bottom corner, and when you fire, he does the little gun face and goes pow, 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 pow when you fire.
Yeah, he gets that.
Is great.
The glow from the bullet reflects onto him. That's pretty cool.
Style-wise, I think the game is amazing. I haven't played a whole bunch of it. I officially completed one run and then died in a very stupid way.
Roguelikes.
Yes, roguelikes.
I did want to mention one other stylistic thing that I thought was really interesting. Well, I guess two small ones. One is I really like the start menu and the options menu looking like a VHS
the
options menu.
The pause menu, yeah.
Yep, I think that's really great. I also really like that when you fly into a mission, they talked about this before it came out, the episode title and who it's written by is randomized.
Yep.
And I really like that you get like a real like 70s sci-fi anime episode title and written by like Herbert Farnswinkle.
Yes.
It's like, all right, yeah, cool.
This game 100% makes me want to go watch that TIE Fighter anime that a fan made over 5 years. Like, that thing is insane. If you haven't seen it, Monkey, go watch it because that thing is so cool.
It's really good.
I think because we have discussed this before, and Boston is not the hugest fan of this game, I think.
I had a lot of frustrations on its initial launch that the Void edition has fixed a good number of them.
Okay, that's good to hear, because one of my main concerns for other people, not for myself, because I don't know if you know this, but I am elite. So
and maybe dangerous.
Maybe a little dangerous, but definitely elite.
Right.
The controls are very spaceshipy.
Yes.
And if you're not used to controlling a spaceship in that kind of manner...
Monkey just, for your audio version, Monkey just raised his hand.
It can be very, very confusing. Like
it looks like a dual stick shooter, but it's very much not. It's very much you have a spaceship, you need to control your forward and reverse thrust.
Yes. And it also has the whole velocity of speed of things moving, and then you need to thrust backwards to slow down and then go in reverse. It's not like an instant thing. If you've ever seen the reboot of Battlestar Galactica, it feels like those things look to control, where it's just tiny little wisps of jets coming out of it, and it's big motions because the smallest thing in space does the biggest kind of trajectory changes. As someone is used to playing Elite Dangerous, it didn't bother me too much, but I'm sitting there playing it thinking, oh boy, some people are going to really hate these controls.
It's a real... I think it controls really well, but it's a very steep learning curve if you're not... that was the majority of my time with the game when it originally came out. It's cool. I don't know how to control this at all. All right, this is going to take me a week or two just to get used to going forward and not running into big giant space bugs.
Yeah. Yes. I also got used to the strafe controls. I unlocked the strafe control in my ship, which is a game changer because that's a circle strafe.
Strafe is cool.
Yes.
Yeah.
I like this game so far. It seems hard, but not too hard. I don't know if that's, again, something that they changed with the Void Edition, if they rebalanced it, because I remember when this thing came out and everybody was screaming about how great it was and how ridiculously difficult it was.
So are you playing arcade or story mode?
Come on, I'm playing rogue mode, dude.
Rogue mode? I don't know what that is.
That's
I think the 3 options are arcade, rogue, and then void or something like that.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. So
Rogue is actually the mode I don't recommend playing it on, because I think Rogue is Rogue is the main problem that I had with. So Rogue mode is how Galak-Z launched originally, and that was if you die in the middle of a season, you go back to episode 1 of that season.
Yeah.
Yep.
In arcade, if you finish season 1, episode 3, you're still there, even though, like, when I was playing, I died on 1-3 because one of those, like, fireball bloops came out of some lava, hit my ship, broke through all of my shields and my health in one shot, and blew me up. And I was like, cool, thanks, I guess. And I think arcade mode resolves the issue of I didn't die because of something dumb I did, which is fine in a roguelike. I died because of something that was out of my control.
Yeah. See, that's interesting. What mode are you playing on, Monkey?
Rogue.
Okay, so with the big boys and Boston's the little baby in the party.
I put in my time with the original in Rogue mode, and I think that was one of the biggest problems in the original was, I think the difficulty was, once you get past season 1, the difficulty ramps up in such an amazingly, horrifically difficult way that I think season 1 is fine, where it's like, okay, cool. Like, each one of the levels aren't that big, each one of the dungeons isn't that big. When you get to season 2, you get more things to do in each episode and more dungeons to visit in one run, and that starts getting really rough.
Yeah, I can see that. I haven't beat season 1 yet, so it's going to be interesting because so far I'm actually enjoying this game a bit. Like I said, like, the controls, they don't feel like second nature, but they definitely feel like I've probably got to them a little bit faster than most, because it's like, oh, I'm used to Elite Dangerous where you're down thrusting while spinning the ship upwards and also trying to lock on your lasers to an enemy at the same time. It's like, I'm used to all of that weird inertia control stuff. Like, flying backwards, doing a barrel roll while at the same time making evasive maneuvers. Like, yeah, okay, I can do this. It's just, it's weird because it feels harder because it's a 2D plane rather than a 3D plane.
Right.
Which is interesting because it's probably actually the reverse. Like, Elite is probably harder for this kind of combat than this is. I am liberally using the dodge move, where it's just like, I'm just going to hop towards the screen a little bit and avoid these lasers. Thank you very much.
Yep.
But, I mean, I'll be interested to see how I feel when I get to the second season, especially if hopefully any updates they've done with the Void thing will hopefully balance any of that difficulty down a little bit.
Yeah, I hope so. I think one of my 2 major issues with the game when it first launched was, 1, it didn't have the 4th season. It launched with just the first 3 seasons. And number 2, the difficulty was way up there. And I think you could have gotten there, but it didn't feel like it didn't feel like it had that natural ramp where it's like, okay, I got into a second season and this should be difficult, but it was really kicking my teeth in a little too much.
So I did get to the second season. So I beat the first season, and then I had quite a few runs on the second season. But it is a little bit harder, but I don't think it's like too hard.
Oh, good.
But I have been dying in like the first or second episode, I guess, because. So my note here is the game controls fine if you like the controls, or if you like that control scheme,
right?
Yes.
And I've just been so impatient with the control scheme that I've just been dying like so stupidly in like those first 2. I'm just like, it's gonna be rough for me to get used to the asteroid controls, because that's what I think back to, like thrust and then turn to
And it's sort of a bummer that the game doesn't tell you how to use some of the environmental stuff either, like those see-through
the pods.
The pods that have all the little things inside of them. Like, you can use those against the enemy, but the game never really tells you some of this stuff, which, again, par for the course for any game that's featured on the show. But you can use some of those to your advantage, too, including the lava.
Yeah. I mean, Monkey's not wrong. I think it is one of those things where, like, if... Probably poor phrasing on this, but if that control scheme is not to your liking, like if you're not a fan of that type of control, I can see how this thing would drive you absolutely insane.
Yeah.
Very much in the same way, like a Red Dead Redemption, it's like, no, I don't want to turn the stick and then take 5 seconds to turn direction.
Right.
Like, very much in the same way, like different third-person action games can mess you up in a very similar way. I can see where people are definitely coming from with this kind of thing.
Yeah. And it's a very steep learning curve, too.
Yes, it definitely is. Thank you, Elite.
Yeah. All right, any last thoughts here on Galak-Z for our introductory week?
I would say that I think it could use some better music, at least for when you're like going through space, like going from dungeon to dungeon in space. Because it's just silent and like I'm just like, come on, I just want to get there, and holding the boost button and then like having to wait for it to recharge and just like I just want to get to the next place. Yeah.
Just play the FTL soundtrack.
Yeah, give me some sweet like 80s techno dance music.
Something. But you know he has to be listening to something in a ship.
Yeah, and they've done well with the music and the other things as well. Like it feels like that, like you said, like that Saturday morning cartoon. It feels like that kind of show.
Mm-hmm.
So like
very much so, yeah.
Come on, Dragon Ball had so much stupid music in it.
Yep. Yeah, maybe that's the soundtrack you should be playing.
Dragon Ball
Rock
Z
the
soundtrack.
Dragon.
Oh, go away with that. Come on.
So good.
Oh, that's the worst.
Alrighty, well, that's our very first week of Galak-Z. Thank you very much, everyone, for listening, and we'll see you all next run.
Bye. Bye.